The conflict between Israel and Iran is not just a modern political crisis, but a spiritual confrontation that began in the book of Genesis. The Bible reveals a divine storyline involving nations and empires that have risen and fallen. Persia, modern-day Iran, plays a central role in this story. In Genesis chapter 17 verse 20, God promised to make Ishmael, the son of Abraham and Hagar, into a great nation. In Genesis chapter 17 verse 21, God declared that his covenant would be established with Isaac, the son of Abraham and Sarah. This covenant would be the foundation of the nation of Israel. Centuries later, the Persian king Cyrus issued a decree allowing the Jews to return to Jerusalem and rebuild the temple. Centuries later, the Islamic Revolution in Iran would give birth to a new era of hostility towards Israel. Today, Iran's leaders openly vow to destroy Israel, funding terrorist groups and building alliances with nations that share their goal. The prophet Ezekiel saw it first, and he didn't just see the plot, he saw God's response. In Ezekiel chapter 38 verse 18 to 23, the Lord declares, "This is what will happen in that day, when Gog attacks the land of Israel. My hot anger will be aroused. I will execute judgment with plague and bloodshed. I will pour down torrents of rain, hailstones, and burning sulfur. And then the voice of the Almighty speaks, I will show my greatness and my holiness, and I will make myself known in the sight of many nations. Then they will know that I am the Lord." This is not just military retaliation, it is divine retribution. God allows the nations to gather, not because Israel is weak, but because he wants the whole world to witness what happens when you come against his covenant. And Persia, present-day Iran, will be there, not as a side note, not as a mystery, but as a player in the final confrontation. But what's often overlooked is that behind every earthly empire, there are unseen forces, and Scripture opens the curtain. In Daniel chapter 10 verse 13, the prophet receives a vision, but the angel sent to deliver it is delayed. Not by armies, not by distance, but by a supernatural force. The angel says, "The prince of the Persian kingdom resisted me 21 days. Then Michael, one of the chief princes, came to help me." This prince of Persia was not a man, he was a spiritual power, a demonic force ruling behind the empire. If Persia once had a spiritual prince, then who rules Iran today? This is not conspiracy, this is biblical reality. Paul wrote in Ephesians chapter 6 verse 12, "For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms." The rage against Israel is not just ideological, it is spiritual. Because Israel is not just a nation, it is a witness, a living testimony that God's promises still stand. And for the kingdom of darkness, there is no greater threat than a covenant that refuses to die. In 1 John 2:18, the apostle warns us, "Dear children, this is the last hour. And as you have heard that the Antichrist is coming, even now many Antichrists have come." What is the spirit of Antichrist? It's not just denial of Jesus, it is opposition to God's plan, to his Messiah, and to his people. It manifests in systems, in ideologies, in nations that rage against the covenant. Iran's mission to wipe out Israel is not merely geopolitical, it is spiritual warfare. It is the echo of Eden, a serpent trying again to strike the heel of the seed of promise. But what hell forgets is that every arrow aimed at Israel ultimately aims at the heart of God. And every attempt to curse what God has blessed will collapse, because God's purposes are not fragile, they are forged in fire. This is not the time for the church to be distracted, divided, or asleep. In Psalm chapter 122 verse 6, the command is clear. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. May those who love you be secure. This is not a political suggestion, it is a prophetic act of obedience. To pray for Jerusalem is to align yourself with God's redemptive plan. To stand with Israel is to stand with the King who chose her, wrote her story, and promised her future. But the role of the church goes beyond prayer. We are not called to be spectators, we are called to be watchmen. The war may be written, but how we respond is still being written today. So, as the world prepares for war, let the church prepare for his coming. Let our eyes be open, let our voices be bold, and let our hearts burn again for the story God is still writing.